When was the last time you checked your bank account and felt that sinking feeling in your stomach, like you're doing everything the experts say, but somehow you're still losing? I'm Mark, and I spend way too much time reverse engineering why smart people go broke in business so you don't have to figure it out the hard way. Here's the thing most people won't tell you. That funnel you built, that social media strategy you're killing yourself over, it's financial theater. It looks like business, but it's not actually making you money. Right now, in 2026, there's a massive separation happening between people who understand what actually builds wealth and people who are just performing entrepreneur on the internet. And stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to see your business completely differently. You'll know exactly which activities are draining your bank account disguised as progress and what the invisible winners are doing instead. The death of the marketing shortcut. Let me take you back about 10 years. There was this golden window called the cowboy era, where you could actually hide a mediocre product behind clever copywriting and a decent sales funnel. You didn't need the best service. You didn't need happy customers telling their friends. You just needed a landing page that converted and in traffic you could afford. That was the game. And for a while, it worked. Here's what happened. Marketing became confused with business itself. People started thinking that if they could just crack the funnel code, learn the right headline formula, or master Facebook ads, they'd be set for life. The industry exploded with courses teaching persuasion tactics, copywriting secrets, and growth hacks. And normal people like you, bought in completely. Why wouldn't you? The promise was intoxicating. Learn to sell and you'll never go broke. But here's the thing, marketing is perception, not reality. And markets, meaning actual human beings with wallets and pattern recognition, got better at detecting false signals. They evolved. You can feel it in the numbers. Traffic costs have doubled, sometimes tripled in the last 3 years. Your email open rates used to be 30%. Now they're 12. Your ad cost per click used to be $1.50. Now it's $4. And it's not because you got worse at marketing. It's because the market got fatigued. Think about it from a psychological angle. Humans evolved to recognize patterns. That's how we survived as a species. We learned which berries were poison, which predators hunted at night, which people could be trusted. When persuasion techniques get overused, they lose power. Your brain learns the pattern. You scroll past the ad. You delete the email. You smell the hustle from a mile away. This is the first mistake normal people make, believing that marketing skill equals business skill. They spend 95% of their time optimizing funnels, tweaking headlines, and posting content. They spend 5% actually improving what they sell. And time, this is critical, time is the grim reaper of weak value propositions. You can fool some people for a few months, maybe even a year. But eventually, if what you're selling doesn't actually help people, they stop buying. They leave reviews, and they warn their friends. The machine stops working. Small businesses weren't lazy. They weren't stupid. They were trained to optimize the wrong thing. They were sold a dream where marketing mastery would replace the need for an exceptional product. And in 2026, that dream is collapsing in real time. Product is the only real differentiation. So let's flip this entire conversation on its head. What if it was always the product? What if all the copy tricks and funnel hacks were just temporary workarounds for the real work of building something people actually need? Here's a research-backed reality check. If your product sucks, your marketing doesn't matter, period. You can have the best copywriter in the world, the slickest sales video, the most optimized checkout process, and it won't save you if what you deliver is weak. And customers in 2026 demand deep proof before they buy anything. They're not falling for vague promises anymore. They want testimonials with specifics. They want case studies with numbers. They want to see the thing working for someone who looks like them. The era of fluff value is over. What's fluff value? It's when you sell a feeling, an identity, a transformation, but the actual deliverable is a PDF and 3 videos that could have been an email. Customers are waking up to this. They want tangible outcomes. They want something they can point to and say, this changed my situation. And here's where behavioral psychology comes in. Trust doesn't form from claims. It forms from repeated usefulness. Think about the last product or service you became loyal to. You didn't fall in love because of their Instagram captions. You fell in love because the thing worked. It solved a problem and did what it said it would do. And then you told someone else about it. That's word of mouth. And word of mouth is the only long-term advantage that compounds. It's free. It's credible. It scales without ad spend. Why do normal people lose here? Because they split their energy. They're trying to master 6 social media platforms, launch 3 different products, run 2 funnels, and post daily content. They're doing everything except the one thing that matters, making what they sell so good that people can't shut up about it. There's a case in sight from someone who sold 1 product for 4 years straight, not 5 products, not a new launch every quarter, 1 product, refined relentlessly, support dialed in, delivery process systemized, and that focus allowed them to scale past $30 million a year, not because they had the best ads, because they had the best product in their category. The market didn't get mean, it got smarter. Customers learned to spot the difference between someone who's promoting and someone who's providing. And the providers, the ones who wake up thinking about how to make their thing better, not how to sell more of it, are the ones eating everyone else's lunch. This is the shift. From promoter to provider, from persuasion into usefulness, from hype to proof. And if you're still playing the old game, where marketing is the strategy and product is an afterthought, you're already behind. Winner takes all in the illusion of competition. Now let's talk about something uncomfortable. Something most business advice completely ignores because it's too brutal to say out loud. 1% of businesses in any market capture 99% of the profits. This isn't a motivational exaggeration. It's market structure. It's how capitalism actually works when you zoom out. And here's why this matters to you. Most small business owners think about competition in the wrong way. They look at their competitors and try to figure out how to be slightly better, slightly cheaper, slightly faster, slightly friendlier. They study what everyone else is doing, and then try to do it with a twist. And that strategy, the strategy of incremental differentiation, leads to slow, invisible death. Because here's the thing. Just good enough doesn't cut it anymore. The market doesn't reward you for being 10% better. It rewards you for being in a different category entirely. And there's a psychological bias at play here. Humans copy what's visible. When you look at your competitors, you're looking at people who are already stuck in the same red ocean you're swimming in. You're studying their tactics, their pricing, their positioning, and unconsciously, you start to look like them. You know, you're in trouble when a potential customer asks, "So what makes you different?" If they have to ask, you've already lost. Because true differentiation doesn't need to be explained. It's obvious, it's felt. It's a different class of solution entirely. Think about it this way. When someone asks you what makes an airplane different from a car, you don't start listing features. The category speaks for itself. That's what class of one positioning means. You're not competing. You're operating in a space where a direct comparison doesn't even make sense. This is blue ocean logic. While everyone else fights over the same bloody, crowded, price-competitive market, you find or create a space where you're the only option. But most small businesses never get there. They look at what's working for someone else and copy it with minor variations. They think being different is about branding, design, or messaging. It's not. Being different is about solving a problem in a way no one else is solving it. Serving a customer segment no one else is serving. Delivering an experience no one else is delivering. And time, once again, is the filter. The pretenders, the businesses that are just slightly better, just a little cheaper, just kind of different, they survive for a while. They get some customers, they make some sales, but they never break through. They never dominate. And when market conditions shift, when traffic gets more expensive, when a recession hits, they're the first to die. This is mistake number 2 that normal people make, trying to look different instead of being different. They redesign their logo, they tweak their tagline, they launch a rebrand, but the core offering, still the same, still competing on the same variables as everyone else. Most small businesses don't lose in a dramatic explosion. They slowly fade into irrelevance. They become background noise, forgettable, replaceable. And the owner keeps working harder, posting more, running more ads, wondering why nothing's working, not realizing the problem isn't effort, it's positioning. The fame trap and identity collapse. Let's talk about a different kind of trap. The fame illusion. This is the belief that if you just get enough followers, enough visibility, enough people knowing your name, the business will take care of itself. And it's one of the most dangerous delusions in the game right now. Here's what the research shows. Fame without substance is being punished by the market in 2026. The people who built their entire identity on being visible on stages, on podcasts, on Instagram, are watching their businesses crumble because attention doesn't equal profit. It never did. But for a few years there, you could mistake one for the other. The hidden cost of being a visible entrepreneur is massive. First, there's the time cost. Every hour you spend creating content, engaging with comments, filming reels, optimizing thumbnails, that's an hour you're not spending improving your product, training your team, fixing your systems. The opportunity cost is invisible until you look back and realize you built an audience but not a business. Then there's the psychological toll. Your identity becomes tied to metrics you don't control: likes, shares, views, comments. Your self-worth starts fluctuating with your engagement rate. You check your phone every 10 minutes. You feel good when a post does well and anxious when it doesn't. You're outsourcing your emotional stability to algorithms designed to addict you. And here's the brutal irony. Title-stuffed bios where someone lists 7 different roles, 3 certifications, and 5 media appearances don't signal authority. They signal insecurity. People who actually have authority don't need to convince you. Their work speaks. Their results speak. Their customers speak. Meanwhile, the quiet businesses, the ones you've never heard of, are eating the lunch of famous competitors. They're not on social media. They're not launching podcasts. They're not speaking at conferences. They're heads down, building something so good that customers find them through referrals, through search, through word of mouth, and they're making millions. This is mistake number 3. Outsourcing your self-worth to platforms you don't control, believing that recognition equals success. Thinking that if you just get featured in the right place, interviewed by the right person, seen by the right audience, everything will click into place. It won't. Because chasing recognition quietly starves the business that was supposed to support your life. You end up famous and broke, visible and stressed, known and irrelevant. The market doesn't care how many people know your name. It cares whether what you sell solves a real problem better than anything else available. That's it. That's the game. Focus, systems, and the full stack shift. So what actually works? What separates the businesses that survive from the ones that collapse? One word: focus. Focus is the ultimate survival skill in 2026. And the research backs this up completely. Successful entrepreneurs don't diversify. They concentrate. They ignore almost everything and pour their energy into the few things that actually move the needle. There's a strategy called the strategy of ignoring. It's a psychological discipline. It means saying no to good opportunities because they distract from great ones. It means resisting the urge to launch a second product when your first one isn't perfect. It means staying off TikTok even though everyone's telling you that's where the attention is. It means touching the causal elements, the actual levers that drive results, instead of spreading effort across 30 different tactics. Here's a real example. 1 business, 2 products, 1 funnel, that's it. No podcast, no YouTube channel, no LinkedIn personal brand, just a systemized, repeatable, profitable machine. And it scaled past $30 million a year because all the energy went into making the machine better, not promoting it louder. This is the shift from promoter to scientist. Promoters make noise. Scientists run experiments. Promoters rely on charisma. Scientists rely on data. Promoters post motivational quotes. Scientists track metrics and optimize processes. The future belongs to the scientist, not the salesperson. What does that look like in practice? It's the cybernetic business model. Man plus machine. Human creativity and judgment combined with systemized, automated, repeatable processes. You're not winging it. You're not hoping. You're engineering outcomes. And this requires what's called full stack understanding. A full stack entrepreneur understands the whole machine. They know accounting. They know how ads affect profit and loss. They know the difference between cash-based and accrual accounting. They understand systems design, not because they do everything themselves, but because you can't outsource what you don't understand. If you don't know how something works, you can't manage it. You can't improve it, and you become dependent on other people's interpretations of what's broken. Most people fail here because they stay specialized. They're good at ads, but don't understand finance. They're good at sales, but don't understand operations. They're good at content, but don't understand product development. And that creates bias. When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. When all you know is Facebook ads, every problem looks like a traffic problem, even when the real issue is product market fit, pricing, delivery, or support. Winning businesses aren't louder. They're engineered. They're focused. They're run by people who understand the whole system and refuse to get distracted by the noise. The human cost of getting this wrong. Let's bring this home, because this isn't just about business strategy. It's about human lives. Right now, there's a culling happening. It's not cruelty, it's natural selection. Markets evolve, customer expectations rise, weak businesses get filtered out, and the emotional fallout is devastating. I'm talking about shame, self-blame, silent failure. The business owner who maxed out credit cards because a course promised they'd be at 6 figures in 6 months. The parent who drained savings to launch a coaching business that never found traction. The person who quit their job, bet everything, and lost. Not because they were lazy, but because they were misled. Here's the thing. Bad advice doesn't just destroy bank accounts. It destroys confidence. It makes people believe they're the problem. That they're not smart enough, not disciplined enough, not cut out for this. And that's the real tragedy. Because most people didn't fail. They were taught to play a game that was already rigged against them. They were told marketing was the answer when the real answer was product focus and systems. So let me reframe this for you. If you've tried and struggled, it's not because you're broken. It's because the map you were given was wrong. The advice you followed was designed to sell courses, not build businesses. And recognizing that isn't weakness. It's clarity. There's an ethical responsibility here. If you're going to build a business, build one that adds real value. Build something that makes people's lives better, not something that extracts money through persuasion and delivers disappointment. Product-first businesses don't just survive longer. They serve customers better. They create loyalty. They generate referrals. They build reputations that compound over decades. And here's the hopeful part. Normal people can still win. You don't need a massive audience. You don't need venture capital. You don't need to be on stages. Well, you just need to become a builder instead of a promoter. You need to focus on the few things that matter, ignore everything else, and engineer a system that works without you needing to be loud. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about getting rich. It's about surviving with integrity. It's about building something useful. It's about waking up knowing that what you do actually helps people. And that kind of dignity, the dignity that comes from usefulness, not visibility, is worth more than followers, fame, or any shortcut you were ever sold.